Hello, and welcome to the Buttersman podcast. We're going to go on with the second part of our podcast today, and we're going to talk a little bit about the NFL draft. Here's a Butterette, tell you a little bit more.
All right. Well, number one wasn't really a surprise. Cleveland selects Myles Garrett. Right at Texas A&M defensive end is.
I don't know. I don't know if I agree with you. I think
it was the safest pick they could have made.
Really?
I believe so. You definitely don't want to see the Browns take a quarterback, of course.
No, I don't want to see them draft a quarterback. But I feel like there's more that they need. Like, if they think that they have the quarterback they want on their roster, then I feel like drafting Fournette or somebody like Mike Williams would have been better. I just don't see Myles Garrett as a big-time NFL player. Like, I know a lot of people do. I just don't. I feel like he was on a stacked defense at Texas A&M, and his stats are just a little bit padded from that. When I watch him play, I feel like he's a one-play-a-game type player. I don't feel like he's a three-down defensive end. I feel like he's a passing-down defensive end. So I have a hard time saying that he's a sure pick at number one, but he was, and everybody in the world's probably going to hate me for saying this, but I just don't think he was. I feel like there's a number of ways they could have went. They could have traded down, got way more picks for him. Somebody else could have been saddled with Garrett, and they could have done even more than what they did. And I thought the Browns actually had an excellent draft with what
Peppers
they did. Yeah.
Everyone else, tight end in Miami.
Yeah.
I don't know how to pronounce it, but
it's.
I don't know. Sometimes it's better to draft a talent over a need. It's best because you don't want to try to fill something that you can get later on in the draft.
And I agree, but I feel like I don't know. I hope I'm wrong. I hope the Browns turn around and do something well with it, but I feel like I'm not 100% sold on Myles Garrett. I feel like he's going to be a bust. And
I think he'll be all right. Not going to be the greatest because obviously he's one of the best on their defensive line now, so they're going to easily just double him if they want. But
their defense is actually pretty solid, and then you add Peppers into that. I love Jabril Peppers. I thought he would slide to the third round because of all the stuff that was going on. And, I know he's a safety, but he's like a sack machine safety. He could play linebacker.
Which he did at Michigan.
He played everywhere.
Exactly. But along with them, they also did draft DeShone Kizer out of Notre Dame. They drafted a quarterback, which is always deadly for the Browns, but it's not their main focus. They didn't draft him first round like they usually do, and it's so controversial when in 1 or 2 years he's done already.
DeShone Kizer's got the arm of an 80-year-old man. I don't feel like it's a good pick. I feel like there was two other quarterbacks they could have went with there. Anyways, we won't even get into it because I can't remember his name. But there was more there they could have gotten than him. But that's who they went with. And then we'll go on to number 2.
Oh God!
Where the Bears traded up one pick to what I believe is the worst quarterback prospect in the draft. I think Trubisky is 100% flop, and Glennon will be their starter, and Glennon is better than
That's
Trubisky.
That's the thing. He could go somewhere and why trade up one position where the 49ers were most
weren't taking
likely
Trubisky.
Not going to select
They
him
were
anyways.
taking Solomon Thomas. Solomon Thomas was the next best pick, period.
The 49ers played them off to be like, hey, we're going to draft him. If you don't, you better come get it.
Well, and the 49ers made out like champs.
Oh, my God,
they made out like champs. That is John Lynch made the best draft day trade
as a GM
I've ever seen. I mean, what he got? He got
ransom.
He got a first round, a second round, a first round next year, a fourth round, a sixth round. The man, he made out like an absolute monster on this trade, and
Jesus.
The Bears are just stuck in quarterback limbo hell. Just like I feel like
at least Cutler's out of it now. He's back. He's in the booth now doing commentating.
I mean, I like Cutler. I feel like Cutler's never had an offensive line. He's never had offensive weapons. I mean, you give him Brandon Marshall, that's cool. Who's the second?
Alshon Jeffrey a little bit.
Alshon Jeffrey is so injury prone that he got paid money from the Philly that no other team was going to pay him. Like, Philly didn't need him. And I feel like if he stays healthy, oh yeah, he's great. I 100%, I think he's a Pro Bowler. But I mean, what's he do? He blows the knee out every year, or breaks his ankle every year. I mean, not breaks or not actually blows out his knee, but he misses at least 3 games a year. He's never played a full 16-game season, I think. Most games, I think he's played 13. So it could have gone either way. with Cutler, though, is my thing with Cutler is when he was with Denver, he was good with Denver. He was very good with Denver. But they had an offensive line. They had guys in front of him that could block. Chicago hasn't had an offensive line in years. Glennon's going to suck because they don't have an offensive line. Yeah. And Glennon's good.
They paid him a lot,
he's
too.
Good.
For
$45 million to get a quarterback drafted in the first round, the number 2 overall pick. I don't
After
agree with it.
giving up almost tons more draft picks in the future and this draft.
Again, I'm going to go back to Leonard Fournette in this one. And to me, Leonard Fournette is the most... Him...
He's a bit scary.
And O.J. Howard, who we'll talk about later, were the most complete NFL players in the draft. There's nobody better than them. You know what you're going to get from them, and they're going to do it. And Leonard Fournette could be even better than what he is. Like, he might turn Jacksonville into a playoff team this year. And that is absolutely scary to say just because Jacksonville was a 3-13 team last year. So, I know with Blake Bortles being Blake Bortles, but now he's got somebody he can hand the ball to.
This is true.
He hasn't had that. So, you're telling me the man guy can throw 50 times a game, and he's got a guy that's going to get 100 yards a game? I feel like Jacksonville is going to be a scary team.
I want to go as far as playoffs, but I can see them turning their season around for
the AFC South is so weak, though.
Oh, yeah,
you got 4 teams.
Tennessee, Colts.
Yeah, but those teams aren't even bad teams. The thing is you got 4 teams that just beat the hell out of each other. You got the Texans, who got probably the best defense in the entire league, and not to mention, we'll get to their pick later on in the draft or later on in this podcast as well.
I love it.
Then you got Indianapolis, who I feel like had maybe the best draft of every team in the league because they had an awesome draft. Tennessee also had a great draft. They took Corey Davis, number 5, and that's who we'll get to next. But let's jump back to 3. I'm sorry for getting ahead of myself with that one, but we'll go back to 3, and we'll go with 49ers, who made the best trade I've ever seen, and ended up getting their guy anyways.
They drafted the guy they wanted. They traded back, got absolute ransom for the pick, and got him anyways. Made the Bears look completely stupid.
And still got what I think is the best defensive end in the draft. Yeah. Most complete defensive end in the draft. He can sack. He can stop the run. He's actually good in pass coverage, covering tight end. So, we'll see how it goes from there. Right. We've already talked about the Jaguars and Leonard Fournette and what I think he's going to do.
On to number 6, we got Jamal Adams at LSU. Probably what I heard from every analyst is the best leader of the draft, natural-born leader. He leads the locker room.
Yeah, and he's very good. He's very athletic as well.
Extremely.
Yeah, he's good cover safety.
Great player, but I think the Jets made a good pick with him. It was pretty safe.
Yeah, I mean, that's the Jets. The Jets they're very good at finding defensive talent.
They drafted another corner, their second pick as well, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
So they got 2 rookie corners on the start, as it looks like.
Well, he's not a corner. Jamal Adams
is
safety. He's
my
a cover
apology.
safety and good in the box, I guess. We'll go on to the Chargers now, who I think also had a top 5 draft out of anybody.
I love Mike Williams. I thought he should have gone first because I love what he did at Clemson. He can get up.
My thing is with Mike Williams is being a Bucs fan and the name Mike Williams.
Number 19.
We have drafted 2 Mike Williams in the past. 2. And they have both been supposed to be good. Like, I think he came out of LSU.
Cursed?
And I do. I'm scared of that name in the NFL as a wide receiver. Like, I just feel like blown knee. Like, that's all I hear when I hear the word Mike Williams. I feel like great talent. I actually did like Mike Williams in this draft. I think he's one of the better wide receivers in the draft. He's not, an elite speedster, but he's going to catch everything you throw at him.
Yeah.
And he's good at boxing players out. He's going to be great in the red zone. Phillip Rivers is going to make this guy a Pro Bowler as a rookie. I can almost guarantee that.
They had a good receiving core now.
Yeah. All right, so we'll move down to the Panthers, who took Christian McCaffrey.
He went up. He never went down in any kind of mock draft. He only went up from as soon as they started him coming out of college.
My only thing is, and I don't want to sound like a racist person here, is I am scared of white running backs in the NFL. I feel like they all have great one season, and then it's just like, boo. But, he's a different kind of monster. He's fast and strong. He can block. He can catch.
That's the thing.
He's a bigger guy. I think he's 6 foot 220, something like that.
But he's shifty and he can get down the field. He's fast.
Yeah, he's so we'll see.
I can see him working well because Panthers only really had power backs since D'Angelo Williams. He was a kind of speedster. They've only really had power backs. Where they had Mike Tolbert back there with fullback. Yeah.
So we'll see. Having him and Jonathan Stewart split in the backfield.
Kelvin Benjamin stays healthy on the other side.
Maybe, but their wide receiving core is kind of trash, but You know, we might be able to see Cam Newton with some time now because he's got a guy that can burn some guys.
Yeah, that's going to be scary.
So we'll see.
I think he's going to do great, to be honest. Hallie's in our division.
Splitting him with Jonathan Stewart, double back sets, that might work out real well because you don't know if you're going to run it or throw it or what with that. Run Wildcat, whatever. We'll move down to number 9.
John Ross, Mr. Combine. What was it, 4.22, I believe?
4.2. 4.21 or 4.22, yeah.
Broke the Combine record.
He broke Chris Johnson's record, actually.
Who was it? Was it Adidas who said if anyone breaks the record, they give him like $1 million?
I think so.
I think he did it in Nike, so it doesn't matter. But
yeah,
he's gonna get deals anyway. He's gonna get tons of things just because of like random deals.
He was fast. His hands aren't the best. He's quick as shit. He'll be. I think we'll see.
Who do found Mariota?
Huh?
Mariota. Trying to think. Wait, hold on. Tennessee.
John Ross. No, he went to Washington.
My bad.
He went to
my bad.
the Bengals.
I'm going back to the first.
He went to Cincinnati with I'm
going back to Corey Davis.
The Red Rocket. Andy Dalton. So Andy Dalton's got an arm, and he's just. I just feel like Andy Dalton's not a leader, but that's not what we're talking about today. We'll go with John Ross is fast. To me, he is Deshaun Jackson.
Yeah.
2.0. I mean, he's quick. He's going to get down the field. He's going to blow the top off of the defense. And, he's going to catch 70% of those balls. So, it's a good pick for them. They need some explosive. And now you're putting them with A.J. Green, too, and Tyler Eifert, and, running back over there.
Well, now they just drafted Joe Mixon.
And they got Joe Mixon, too, which we'll get to in our controversial picks later. So we're moving on now to number 10 with the Chiefs, who traded up for this pick with the Bills.
I feel like he would have been there a little bit longer, but maybe not quite where they were sitting.
I don't know. I think the Saints would have taken him at 11.
You think so?
Yeah, I think the Saints.
They need to
start to get somebody in there. I either think the Saints would have taken him, or I think the Packers traded up to take him because he's pretty much Aaron Rodgers 2.0. He's the same thing Aaron Rodgers was in college, and we're talking about Patrick Mahomes.
He landed with a good coach with Andy Reid, though. He can transform himself.
Andy Reid's a very good quarterback coach. I mean, look what he's done with Alex Smith. Alex Smith was dead in the water in San Francisco.
Yeah, once Kaepernick stepped up, he's now nothing now.
We can get to Kaepernick later as well. I feel like Kaepernick should be playing in the NFL.
I feel like he can play. He can't.
Kaepernick had a better touchdown-interception ratio than Drew Brees and Marcus Mariota.
He wasn't on the best teams, so
he was on.
Can't
what do they got in offense there?
But, that shows that media does play a part in your players.
It sucks that you take a stance for something and it's a stance needs to be taken for and you get punished for it. And, that's what rich white people do, but we won't get into that right now.
Football, Jimmy, football.
Yeah, sorry. But anyways, so now we'll move on to the Saints, who took Marshawn Lattimore, who, in my opinion, is the best cornerback in the draft. Strong hitter, good coverage guy, ball hawk. He does everything you need a cornerback to do. Probably will be a Pro Bowler in his first year. Defensive Rookie of the Year candidate.
Coming out of Ohio State. I believe they were tied with Michigan for the most players this year. I want to say Michigan for some reason.
I'm not sure.
I want to say it's like 11 players.
That's a stat I didn't bring to the table for this podcast.
Neither did I, but I feel like I remember it. I want to say 11. Slacking. I'll probably Google it in the middle of this thing, try to figure it out. Yeah. But it's a good pick.
Yeah, I agree. I like Marshawn Lattimore. I also think the Saints had a very good draft. They moved back into the first round to draft another player, which we'll talk about later, who is the best tackle in the draft. But we'll move down to the Texans, who traded to the Browns through the Eagles. And
I like this pick.
Took quarterback Deshaun Watson.
I do like this.
In my opinion, should have been the first quarterback taken.
I agree.
I feel like for some reason he's not being looked at as the best quarterback in this draft, and I think he's the best quarterback in this draft. I think he's the most NFL ready of all the quarterbacks. I think he probably has the best decision making of the quarterbacks taken ahead of him. I mean, Patrick Mahomes, yeah, he was all right. Mitchell Trubisky had a shocker of a year, but he wasn't very good the year before. But Deshaun Watson's been in, 2 championship games?
Yeah.
I want to
say.
Of course,
one loss, but
and he won one of them.
Came out on one.
So, I mean, and he beat Alabama in that one.
Exactly. And
so, so he lost to Ohio State.
Oh.
And so, I don't know. In my opinion, I think the Texans, he wins the starting job out of the gate. And the Texans' offense looks fantastic this year.
They don't have Osweiler in there for competition. They have Tom Savage, which is Tom Savage.
Tom Savage is pretty good, though.
He had that
from
21-point
Pittsburgh.
comeback.
If he wouldn't have gotten hurt last year, I feel like he would have been a lot more than what he was. I think, the coach over there, Bill O'Brien, he's a Belichick stooge, so he's not stupid.
Yeah.
He knows how to draft. Look at the defense he built. So now he's building his offense. It took Belichick a bunch of years to get where he's at. So if we remember the 90s, Belichick wasn't a very good coach. So most of these stooges from Belichick, all these guys that learned under him, end up becoming pretty good NFL coaches. So
It's hard not to be.
Yeah. So, I back Bill O'Brien 100%, and I think he did a good job by trading up to get Deshaun Watson here.
All right, number 13, the Cardinals draft out of Temple, Hassan Reddick.
Now, one thing about this pick. Hassan Reddick is the only player the Cardinals said that they wanted. I read an article about this. They brought him in. He's the only player they worked out. He was not the only player. He's the first player they worked out. He's the number one player they had circled on their board, and he fell right in their laps. Hassan Reddick is a very, very, very good linebacker. He is the best linebacker hands down in the draft. He might be better than some of the defensive ends that were chosen ahead of him.
Talent-wise?
Yeah. No, he's a very smart. I don't know if he's projected to play outside or middle linebacker. I've heard he could play both. He comes from a smaller school, Temple, so that's why he fell so far, in my opinion. And I think also because of need and want in the first round ahead of him. But Hassan Reddick's actually a pick I wanted for my Tampa Bay Buccaneers coming in at 19. I was hoping he fell there. Obviously didn't expect who fell there to fall there. But, Hassan is another one of those players that I trust completely in this draft. We'll go ahead and move on to 14, where the Eagles traded with the Vikings. And they took Derek Barnett out of Tennessee. Solid pick. I don't know much about Derek Barnett. I know he played against the Gators, and he sacked us a few times. Good run stopper.
But didn't.
All right, then we'll move to 15 with the Colts, who took Malik Hooker from Ohio State.
Another Ohio State player off the board first round.
Another one of these Ohio State backfield guys, ball hawk, hard hitter, run stuffer. Great pick. Great pick for the value at 15. Like I said, I thought the Colts had a very good draft. And this is just another good example of this.
At this point during the draft, this is where I was expecting O.J. Howard to kind of slide off. He already slid out of top 10. I was figuring somewhere in the 15 range, like 14, 15, 16. Someone would take him.
Honestly, I don't know how the Ravens didn't take him.
That's why
I don't understand. I mean, I get why the Ravens went after defense because they've always been a defensive-oriented team. And they also took the first Alabama player drafted in this draft, in Marlon Humphreys. He's a good cornerback, very solid. I think there was more value still left on the board than him, way more value. I mean, we got O.J. Howard falling all the way to 19 to the Buccaneers. You also had Garrett Bowles from Utah, who's a very good tackle. Not so sure how he projects his tackle in the NFL. He probably goes to guard, but I don't agree with the Ravens pick there. But now, going on.
It's still a good pick regardless, but I don't understand how you don't select. Like I said, sometimes it's better to go talent over need.
Yeah, they don't want to give Flacco any help. Like, Flacco's got to do it all by himself. It's like, hey, we gave you a $50 million contract. Guess what? You got to do this all by yourself. So, Flacco's going to continue to struggle as the team gets older. And, eventually
Steve Smith's gone.
Yeah.
They have Mike Wallace, but he's not exactly the most reliable guy.
No, I mean,
and then
look at the years
Dennis
with the
Pitt is still there, but how old is Dennis Pitt now? Is he still there? Did he retire? No, he didn't retire. No,
he's still there. He's probably in his 30s. I'd imagine late 20s, early 30s. But, yeah, I just don't understand not giving the Ravens any help there. Really boggles my mind a little bit. But, it is what it is. We'll go ahead and move on to 17 with the Redskins, who took Jonathan Allen, the next player out of Alabama drafted. Very solid defensive end. Went a little higher than I thought he would go. I thought he would fall, to 27, 28 range. But he's very good, and the Redskins got some value. I mean, they had to replace Chris Baker, who they lost to the Buccaneers.
Of course.
In free agency. So I know he plays defensive end, but he's a big dude, so he probably moves inside. Solid run stopper, projects probably more as a tackle in the NFL.
I lost position. All right. Titans back in the first round again. And their pick out of USA, they take Adoree Jackson, corner.
Another good cornerback who probably should have gone over Marlon Humphrey. I just don't understand the Ravens pick here. Like, I get it. Good player, comes from a Power 5, super strong school. I really honestly thought he wasn't worth the pick. But Adoree Jackson, on the other hand, ball hawk, fast. I believe he's bigger, 6 foot tall.
Here, I'll get that up for you in a second.
Not 100% sure.
No, he's Adoree Jackson's 5'10",
5'10", so we'll give him 6 feet. But he plays offense and defense. But I guess
not likely in the NFL, obviously nowadays. But
I mean, he can go ahead and play special teams.
Yeah,
it's great.
It's always a great position to fill. And then finally, to number 19, we got O.J. Howard. Not just because I'm a Bucs fan, I think the steal of the draft.
I'm going to go ahead and agree with you there, and not because I'm a Bucs fan. I feel like the Bucs didn't draft for need, and they drafted for talent, and they took the best available player, which, I'm sorry, I might be a Bucs fan, but I'm going to go ahead and say Jason Light is the best GM the Bucs have ever had. He is the best drafting GM, in ages. I know we
Except
have
for a little bit of controversial pick on the last year's second round.
No, what's controversial about that? What if he turns out to be the best kicker in NFL?
It's true. Coming out of a first-year perspective, it didn't look good.
What's his name?
We got
what's his name from
Robbie Gould. He's now in here helping out.
Yeah.
He's helping out a little bit. He's old, but nice
veteran
to help.
We also got Nick Folk too. And anyways, if you look back at Florida State kickers, what's his name from Oakland?
Janikowski?
Yeah, he in his first year was terrible. He missed like 50% of his kicks. He goes on to be one of the greatest kickers of all time. So you got to trust the system here. I feel like he was as bad as he was because one, you got to adjust to the NFL. I don't care what position you play, adjusting to the NFL takes time, and 90% of the time you don't have guys come in and be the best that they're going to be as a rookie. Not in the NFL. I mean, you might see it in baseball. Hockey, it doesn't happen in the NFL.
In baseball, you could be a rookie at 25, like Aaron Judge this year.
Yeah, just like it doesn't happen in the NBA.
Coming out 19.
Rookies are never the greatest player. So we'll see what happens with that. But to me, Jason Light, going on 3 years in a row, 4 starters from each draft. That's incredible. He might have 5 in this draft, depending on how Beckworth is with his ACL and whatnot. So, we'll see how it goes. But back to O.J. Howard. Most complete player in the draft.
Oh, of course.
Most complete player.
James is going to have a lot of targets this year.
Can block, can throw blocks downfield, he can do it all. He can pull block, he can, So, and pairing him with Mike Evans.
Deshaun Jackson.
Cameron Brate.
I love Cameron Brate.
Cameron Brate's great. He led all tight ends in touchdowns last year.
Yes, okay, I was about to say.
So, and I think receiving yards. So, I mean, he was close. He had like 700-some receiving yards. So, no knock on Cameron Brate here. I think all they did was make Cameron Brate better with this.
Yeah.
I feel like
I would love to see
the Bucs will have top 3 offense this year, depending on what running back does. If Doug Martin comes out and he's Doug Martin 2 years ago, it's fucking over. And I'm sorry my language there, but it's over. I don't think there's a team in the NFL that can stop us if that happens, especially if Jameis progresses like a third-year quarterback's supposed to. So, with number 19 there, I give the Bucs an A. I mean,
of course.
Not because I'm a fan. I feel like
love the pick as a fan.
Yeah.
And to love the pick just as a spectator.
I just don't. I mean, I don't know how 19 other teams passed on this guy. I don't get it. I mean, well, not 19 because you have 16 teams because you have the. But I just don't get it. So, moving on to the Broncos with Garrett Bowles. You've already heard me talk about him. I think he's a good tackle in college. I don't know if he projects the tackle in
he's a feisty
in the
guy.
NFL.
He's the one who brought his kid on stage, isn't he?
Yeah, but he's like 26. So, he's a little older. He's big guy, athletic, but I feel like he projects more as a guard center.
I want to say didn't he only play 1 year at Utah? He transferred out of different type of college.
It's Division II somewhere, but
somewhere about that.
Yeah. So,
but
Garrett Bowles, it's
the Broncos. They usually had a solid line pick.
Yeah, it's a safe pick for the Broncos.
Get him in there, but
now on to the Lions. At 21, choosing first Florida player off the draft. Go Gates. But with Gerard Davis, love Gerard Davis, but gets hurt a lot. So we'll see how this one goes. I believe the Lions took back-to-back Florida players, first round and second round.
I'll check that right now.
If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure
you are
they did.
correct. Yeah.
So,
Tease Tabor.
Yeah.
Tabor.
Oh, yeah, they took Tabor, the cornerback. So, I mean, I like the pick. If he's healthy, he's great. If he's more healthy, I feel like he would have gone top 10. He's a good linebacker. Does what he needs to do, makes tackles, can cover a little bit. So we'll see how that pick turns out for him.
All right. Coming up next is our other half of our family's favorite team, Miami Dolphins. Charles Harris out of Missouri, offensive linebacker, but they also list him as a defensive end.
Offensive linebacker, outside linebacker.
Listen.
It's okay. It's late at night. He's tired.
I got off work, I swear.
Yeah, so it's okay.
Linebacker.
Outside linebacker. With the Dolphins' defense style, they run a 3-4, so he will play some defensive and some down linemen. So we'll see how he works. I like the pick. I mean, he's fast, strong. He can do what you want him to do.
Cameron Wake's getting old, but Cameron Wake can still fucking deliver.
Still great. Yeah,
he's amazing.
Moving on to 23 with the Giants. Evan Ingram, a great pick. If the Giants can figure out how to use the tight end, which they just seem to not care about tight end.
Really don't. I mean, they have a great receiving core now. Brandon Marshall, OBJ, and Sterling Shepard.
And now Evan Ingram, who's
he's not exactly the biggest tight end. He played a lot of receiver at college as well.
He's got the best hands of tight ends that came out in the draft. The only reason he's a tight end is because he can block a tad bit, and he's the slowest wide receiver on the team. So he runs like a 4.6, I think. He's no O.J. Howard running 4.4s and stuff, but so I think it's a solid pick for them. I think it helps their receiving core out tremendously. Eli Manning's in the twilight, so giving him as many weapons as we can is pretty much what should be the Giants' thinking now.
His NFL comparison is actually Mike Evans. That was his NFL comparison.
But Mike Evans runs like a 4.4.
Yeah, play type. They said he can get some blocks.
Yeah, he's a strong, he's a physical guy. So we'll see how it goes. Moving on to 24, and go ahead and tell them who they got at 24 with the Raiders.
We got Garyon Connolly from Ohio State. It was controversial looking at it, and as we started getting closer and closer to the draft, it kind of faded away because it showed it was, I believe, a rape allegation, correct? But then some, they said, she got kicked out of the room, and a bunch of onlookers and witnesses said she was getting kicked out just because she was being kicked out, and then she flipped it on to him trying to say all this.
Well, also now after he was drafted, it came out that he just received oral sex from her. So it's still pretty controversial in my eyes, but I feel like he's going to be cleared of everything.
He'll be all right. He'll be fine. It's not going to be anything like Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon's still up in the air.
Yeah, there's videos showing this girl following him around at a party and trying to badger him. So it's pretty much looks like a girl that got shut down and just got upset. Moving on to 25.
Browns back in from the Texans. Like Jabril Peppers.
I love this pick.
I agree.
I feel like he can play all over the field.
I thought originally he was going to fall to the second round unless the Browns came up and get him.
I thought he was falling to the third.
Really?
Because of the stuff that was going on with him.
I didn't see that just because he is a talented guy. I mean, he didn't play obviously one definite position. I mean, he's safety, but he played it. He's versatile. He can work with a lot of coaches.
Yeah, we're going to talk about another player from Michigan that I also loved in this draft coming up here in just a second, but I wanted him to fall to Tampa in the second round really bad. I feel like safety is a position of need, which we did take a safety in the second round.
We did re-sign Chris Conte as well.
Yeah. Anyways, moving down to 26, my favorite pick in the whole draft. This guy is I feel like he's going to be stand-up. He's going to be a great player for them. A very emotional pick for the Falcons. Dude's been through a lot with his grandma passing and whatnot.
Carried a portrait of her onto the stage.
Yes, Takaris McKinley. Also said a bad word while he was on stage.
This is true, but technically the thing that came out was he cannot be fined because technically at the time he wasn't a part of the NFL.
Yes, so, I love this guy.
Good. You can't
great character.
The guy for being emotional during his performance.
Yeah. It's a great guy, good locker room leader. I believe he had some issues in college with something. Not 100% sure. I know something happened with him. But overall, I love this pick to the Falcons. And I think he's going to be a pretty good NFL player, even though he's in my division rivals team.
Our division had a great draft.
Yeah, I agree. I think our division...
And free agency in general, just a great offseason.
Yeah, with the Saints getting Adrian Peterson and whatnot. Anyways...
at least he won't be there too long. I mean, he's getting old.
All right, moving down to 27, the Bills from the Chiefs for the 10th pick.
Tre'Davious White out of LSU.
Who's a good
Another
cornerback.
corner. Another LSU. Is that the third one in the first round? It is with Jamal Adams and Fournette.
Yes. So, LSU, any SEC team's always going to be surprisingly stacked in a draft because strongest, fastest, and best players go to the SEC. We don't win all that often unless you're Alabama, but hey, we all there.
Sure. 2008.
Yeah. But, good pick for them. The Bills really needed another secondary player after losing a player to the Saints last offseason.
You're talking about Jarius Byrd? No, that's a couple.
Yeah.
Is it?
Last offseason.
Is it last? Okay, yeah, no. Did he get hurt though? Didn't he?
Yeah.
But still, it's lost for him anyways.
Fills a need, helps him out in a pretty stacked quarterback division. With Ryan Tannehill and Tom Brady, of course, the greatest of all time.
Goat edition, man. Talk about that Madden. You seen the video he made on that Madden curse?
Oh man.
He broke a mirror, walked under a ladder. He's like, curses don't exist. I'm the GOAT.
Yeah, he's going to get hurt this year. Anyways, moving down to the Cowboys, who also took one of my favorite players in this draft. This dude can play everywhere on the field. He played some running back. He played some fullback. He played defensive end every down. He played some linebacker. Tarkle Charlton is even he's got a cool name.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
6'6", 280 just about.
Yeah, this guy's meant for the NFL. So, great pick by the Cowboys, even though I despise the Cowboys to the utmost fullest. Great pick. Enjoyed that pick for them.
All right. Then, again, the Browns come back into the first round. They get David Njoku, tight end out of Miami.
Yeah, great hands. Fast.
It's just the thing that surprised me was they came back in again. They went all in this draft.
Oh yeah, I mean they're
going for it.
Loading up.
They're not trying to win one game this year. They're trying to win.
They're trying to get competitive so they can lure a free agents in the offseason.
He's a young guy. He's only 20 years old, 6'5", 250.
Oh yeah, runs a 4.4 or something like that. Great hands,
blocking.
Good blocker. He's second best tight end in the draft. Really thought he should have gone over Evan Ingram, but Evan Ingram also plays in the SEC. So that helps him out a lot.
It does.
It is what it is. And then look at number 30.
Out of Wisconsin,
we got a Watt brother.
Another one. The third one.
No,
fullback played for the Patriots patch for a little bit. He wasn't exactly a great player.
So we got a third Watt brother who is actually super good, just like his older brother is.
Yeah. In fact, his brother came out and said he's now wanting to play fullback so he can crush his brother on Christmas Day.
So I like this pick a lot. I was hoping he fell out of the first round again, go to Tampa, but it didn't happen. Steelers made a great choice here.
Yeah.
Moving on to 31, though.
Then there's another fall from Alabama players is Reuben Foster.
Who failed a drug test at the Combine. So
diluted sample, but regardless.
Either way, it's a failed drug test. He watered down his piss. The piss clear. So, but great player.
Can't deny that though.
Yeah, gets in the NFL. He should have gone top 15 easy. Good thing for the 49ers that he did fall. The 49ers made out in this draft. I'm sorry, but
we've already established that.
I mean, Jesus. Reuben Foster's great. He will do great in the NFL as long as he doesn't have a drug problem. So we shall see.
Then last pick of the draft. Not
first
exactly
round.
the most my bad. First part of the first round of the draft. Final pick, Ryan Ramczyk out of Wisconsin, from the Patriots to the Saints.
Just a big old Big Ten, offensive tackle.
6'6", 310.
Yeah, he's just gonna pancake people. He's gonna make his way into the.
The O-line on the Saints needs to step up now because Unger just went down. So I'm not sure how much time he's gonna miss. So they're gonna have to have some people step up.
Ryan Ramczyk's a great pick. I feel like he will do well. I mean, this draft class didn't really yield offensive linemen. It was a weak class for offensive linemen. There's maybe 5 that I say should go first, second, third round. Other than that, it's slim pickings. You're better off getting somebody through free agency, maybe undrafted. But with the ones that did go in the first round, and I believe there was 3 of them, they are the top of the class. I mean, there's no better. Maybe it was only 2.
It was just the 2 with.
So I mean, I feel like Ramczyk should have gone over Broyles or what his name was, Garrett Bowles.
Yeah.
So that's how it is. But Saints had a good draft in the first round. I mean, I believe they picked twice. and got Lattimore and Ramczyk, so they did all right. I mean, the NFC South really upped its game this year.
It really did.
In the draft
and it's going to be one of the best divisions, if not the.
It's going to be one of the hardest, for sure.
Oh, by far.
NFC East, NFC South are going to be
two hardest battle, especially because the Buccaneers, I believe, our first division game is week 7.
Yeah, it's way late into the season.
It's late. Our second half of the year is going to have to be big.
Well, the last 3 games of the season, it goes Saints, Panthers, Falcons.
Yep.
That's the last 3 games. So, the Bucs got it, kind of tough this year.
I think the last couple ones are at home, though. I think at least 2 or 3.
Yeah, moving on from the draft now, we're going to talk about the Buccaneers.
But 1 second before we do that, not exactly a first-round pick, but a first-round talent, Dalvin Cook, going all the way down to the Vikings.
Yeah, the 44th pick of the second round, I believe.
I thought he would have gotten taken. I was surprised at the fall.
I'm not actually surprised at the fall at all. I feel like good player.
Fournette McCaffrey off the board early.
Well, I think he's better than McCaffrey, talent-wise. But he's got off the field concerns. He likes to party too much, gets into a lot of trouble off the field, and a place like Minnesota's gonna be real good for him because there ain't much to do in Minnesota. Yeah, so it's a good place for him to go.
Along with having Latavius Murray with him, that was kind of a. I didn't expect that, especially could have trade up to go get him.
Yeah, I mean, I
believe they did trade up.
No, they didn't trade up. That was their spot. They were 4 spots ahead or 5 spots ahead of Tampa or something like that. I am glad Tampa Bay did not pick Dalvin Cook.
Nope, they did trade up from the Bengals.
Oh, okay.
41.
It was 41. Yeah, 9 picks. I am 100% happy with Tampa Bay not picking him. I know everybody had us picking him, and everybody wanted us to pick him, but I feel like Doug Martin's done enough to where he deserves one more shot. And next year's running back draft class is just as good as this year, if not better. So if it doesn't work out, the first round next year, we grab a running back, and it's what it is. And not to mention, the Bucs did draft a running back.
They did.
Let's not forget about McKinley out of Boise State.
Yep, another Boise State running back for the Bucs.
Who's actually, they say, Doug Martin 2.0, except for he can catch and he's faster. So we'll see how that works out. Maybe he can be a 5th-round Marvel like Dak Prescott.
We'll see.
Like I said, I agree with Jason Light on everything he does.
I don't see him quite getting a lot of snaps
as of right now. I think he starts the first 3 games.
You do?
Oh, yeah. I think he shows off in training camp, and we see him starting in the first 3 games.
Re-signed Jaquiz Rogers. I love Charles Sims III, but he's more of a receiving back to screen. I do love him as a player. He can catch the ball. Yeah, but he's not exactly a power back.
He's not going to run the ball, and you can't have a running back in there that can't run the ball.
He's Christian McCaffrey without the running part.
Yeah.
He can receive the ball, but he's not exactly the greatest back.
No, I like Charles Sims too a lot. I thought he was going to be more like a Matt Forte, and it just ain't working out. He's injury prone, and honestly, he can't run between the tackles. If you can't run between the tackles in the NFL,
not going to make an NFL.
You're meant to be a special teams player for the rest of your life. So I feel like Charles Sims gets cut before the season starts.
Really?
Yep. We opened the season with 3 running backs, because we still have
Jaquiz Rogers.
Well, we have Jaquiz, and we have the other guy too.
Peyton Barber.
And Peyton Barber didn't really get a shot last year. I mean, he got injured. His first game he came into play. So yeah, and he missed the rest of the season. So Peyton Barber's, he's very talented, and he looks really good in offensive workouts. So I feel like Charles Sims gets cut before the season starts, and we open the season with McKinley.
Wait, you're saying no?
I'm sorry, not McKinley.
Yeah, McNichols.
McNichols. Sorry about that.
Jeremy McNichols, not McKinley.
Yeah, Jeremy McNichols and Jaquiz and Peyton Barber. And Peyton Barber. I mean, if we don't cut Sims, he's playing special teams, like I said. So,
he was a good punt returner, but we also have Humphreys back there to do that.
Oh, Humphreys will be our punt returner. I think Deshaun Jackson returns a few punts this year.
Yeah. And we had some guys, unsigned free agents, come in, and they made a roster spot just off of special teams.
So I also think you see Chris Godwin returning some punts this year. Also, I feel like he's the steal of a draft too. I mean,
great steal.
He may not be the steal, but he's one of the steals of the draft because I don't know how a dude with hands like his, who runs
6'1",
a 4.4,
208,
runs a 4.40, falls to the 3rd round. I'll never understand it. But that's another pick with Light, where I think he just chose a second wide receiver for the future for the Bucs.
Didn't trade up, didn't trade down, just sat where we got, and we got him. We got a good player.
I love that pick.
Going back up to the 2nd round, we got Justin Evans out of Texas A&M, safety.
He's a stunning hitter.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to crush.
He came out. He said ribs. He loves how people see him as a hitter, but he wants to be known as an all-overall good at everything.
Good cover skills. Overplays the ball a little bit too much sometimes. Misses a lot of tackles because he tries to take people's heads off.
That Alabama game, though, he showed out.
Yeah, but I think my thing is with him, I enjoy this pick because I feel like we have people that can teach him how to tackle, like Levante David, Quan Alexander. These are some of the best tacklers in the game. So I feel like they're going to teach him to learn how to play an angle. Well, Quan Alexander may not be the best playing angles, but Levante David is.
Great player, though.
I feel like Levante gets him into shape, and he will be our starting strong safety, or free safety.
Oh, yeah. And speaking of Levante David and Quan Alexander, another linebacker we traded up for, coming off of surgery on his right knee. I want to say ACL, right?
ACL injury, yes.
It's Kendall Beckwith out of LSU, who Quan Alexander was decided to get, another LSU linebacker on our team.
Oh, yeah, and I've heard in an interview that Quan Alexander was asked about it, and Quan said that, is a great playmaker. And if you look at the tape, this dude hits people hard.
Which is something we haven't really had in the linebacker spot for a while.
Yeah.
We've had athletic people.
Makes great tackles.
Not a big man in the middle.
This will not be a cover linebacker. This guy is going to come up, and he is going to smack people on the head. He is going to get sacks. I say he averages about 5-6 sacks a game.
In the middle linebacker.
Or a year. And, probably 80 tackles. I mean, this dude's going to stop running backs. I don't see anybody running against Tampa Bay this year. With Chris Baker, Gerald McCoy, Colston, and Ayers on that line. And then with Quan Alexander, Levante David, possibly Beckwith. But I think Devontae Bond starts out as the starting linebacker.
Okay.
We sat him all last year after a hamstring injury. He was pretty much like a draft and stash. Supposed to be really good coming out of Clemson, I believe. We'll see on that. But if Beckwith is healthy enough to go, I believe he's our starting outside linebacker.
Can't forget about Noah Spence as well.
We also have the third down specialist in Noah Spence. Dude just gets sacks on third down.
Came in clutch. Great rookie.
Yeah, just gets sacks on third down. That's all he does. I felt like he didn't even need to have to re-sign Golston because I felt like towards the end of the year, Spence was coming into his own as a 3-down player. But right now, all you need him as is a third down specialist.
We lost Akeem Spence. We lost him to Detroit.
Yeah, but we didn't need to re-sign him because we went and signed Chris Baker. Yeah. Chris Baker, he's been the best at his position for the last few years. 6 sacks, 40-some tackles, 10 tackles for a loss last year, I think. Dude's been, our defense is going to be much more improved in the second year under Mike Smith.
And then our very last pick of the draft at 223, I'm going to slaughter this name. I saw a picture of saying how to pronounce it, but I forgot.
I think I know how to say it.
Stevie, I want to say Tui Kalafatu. I'm bad at that. I can't. But Stevie from USC. His name is Stevie T. That's his nickname.
Yeah, we're gonna call him Stevie T. But I'm also gonna try to slaughter this name, and we're gonna go with Stevie Tuliakatovu. Votu?
Which flowed a lot better than mine.
Yeah. Tuiatavatu, something like that. I'm sorry, Stevie, if you hear this podcast. My bad, bro. But hey, I tried. Maybe you can come over, sit on the podcast with us, and teach me how to say it. But yeah, dude, great story. Dude he lived in his car for 2 months.
With his girlfriend.
With his wife.
Really?
He'd already graduated from Utah, I believe, something like that. And had one more year of availability. He went on, because, when you graduate from Utah, it's a Mormon school, so you have to go as a missionary for a year. So he went and did his missionary, came back, made a team at USC, had to wait for his student stipend to come, his housing stipend to come in, lived in his SUV, traveled, the country, and out California, went to Mexico, he didn't just, like they say, live in his SUV outside the stadium or anything. He traveled over, he had some fun with his wife, but, great story. Will to play. Dude can clog the middle.
He's 6'1", 350. It's kind of hard not to clog the middle.
Athletic as well.
Exactly.
He's not a fat dude that just sits there.
Like I said, I don't see anybody running on
You're not moving him. Yeah, I just don't see it, guys. If you're running on us, you're breaking it outside the tackle. You're not running down the middle.
Interior game's going to be shut
Adrian
down a lot
Peterson,
of the time.
good luck, brother.
Christian McCaffrey, good luck.
You know what I mean? So overall, Bucks,
killed it.
Kyle Hurts said it best. They're the only team that can say this. And every pick that they picked should have been picked before they had the chance to pick them. Every player they picked. So, Colin Howard's one of my heroes on radio. I feel like he's one of the smarter guys in sports today. So I'm going to go ahead and agree with him, if you can't tell, and say I think Justin Evans should have been picked earlier. I feel like O.J. Howard should have been top 10.
Oh, of course.
I feel like Chris Godwin should have been first or second round. Beckworth would have been second round if it not for the ACL injury.
That's true.
McNichols, the same thing. Should have been, third, fourth, maybe second round.
Yeah.
A lot of running backs, so I can see how he got passed up.
There's a lot of talent. A lot of depth.
Mack and Mixon and all these other guys.
Even with Mixon having that controversy, he still went for him.
He knocked shit out of a woman. I just want to clarify this. He's a piece of shit. I don't care.
Yeah.
You just don't punch a woman in the face. I don't care what she did to you. You don't do that.
So you don't just the second part of this draft. Florida D-tackle Caleb Brantley, I believe his name was, projected huge talent, goes out and knocks a lady's teeth out.
Yep.
Literally, he knocked. That one's caught on video as well.
Oh, these young
it's
kids
terrible how
and doing dumb shit. Your future is set in stone, and you do dumb shit. I don't understand it. If I had the talent to play in the NFL,
also
I wouldn't be sitting here right now.
Lots of controversy because Josh Gordon just got denied reinstatement.
Did he?
Yes, he got denied. They did not allow his reinstatement to come through.
And he picked their second round pick?
They didn't allow him to come through. He got turned down. Lots of people said it's dumb. Weed is they said it's fine. It's a solution to the painkiller solution in the NFL. And
which is a big problem.
It is. Doug Martin, I want to check himself into rehab. He's one of those players.
Well, he was on Adderall. So let's not confuse his drug problem. Like, I hear a lot of you podcasts and a lot of you newscasters saying he had a drug problem. The man took an Adderall. Yeah, that might be a drug, but I don't feel like it's a drug that this man should be, chastised for. I feel like what he got, 4-game suspension, that's fine.
He took it on the chin.
Yeah.
He took it he said week 17, I'm taking it now.
Yeah,
I'll be ready for next year. I
wish he would have taken it week 12, but hey,
We'd love to have him back in again the start of the year, see how we go.
But apparently he looks great in off-season workouts. He did get in a car accident last week.
He did. Came out, just a couple scratches, nothing extremely serious.
Scratches, nothing big. Wasn't his fault. Thank God.
Someone blew a stop sign, I believe.
Yeah. So, hope all's good. Hope we can get, the muscle hamster back in the...
Yeah. He hates that nickname.
Whatever.
Juggernaut sounds cooler, but he hates the muscle hamster.
Muscle
he hates it.
Shit.
He came out and said that his rookie year.
You know what? I don't care what he hates. Until he proves himself again, he's the muscle hamster. If he wants to be called the Juggernaut, he'll run for 1,400 yards this year in 13 games. I'm also tired of people saying he's going to miss the first 4 games of the year. Bleacher Report, step your game up. Come on now. Pay attention. If you don't got writers, give me a call. So that's pretty much it on the draft. And I think the Bucks, I don't want to pick win or loss yet. We'll wait to do that for a podcast down the road.
Lots of people have proven us. Some people put us at 10 wins plus.
No, we don't want to talk about that. We don't want to talk about. We don't want to talk about. No, we want to wait. We will do a win-loss prediction for every team. I want to say at the start of the preseason.
We'll give us some time to develop.
We'll do after the second game of the preseason when they make the
There's still ways away.
first
We got time
roster
to figure it
cuts.
out.
We will have an episode where we pick win and loss, and we will have some special guests on for that. All right, well, ladies and gents, we're gonna go ahead and end this podcast on a high note. Go Tampa.
Of course.
Braves won tonight. Beat Miami. That's awesome. We're a little slacking on the pitching this year, but our offense is good.
Yeah.
Signing off.
Gonna wrap this up.
Buttersman and the Butterettes. Do. Have a good night, guys.